This application is designed to track millions of pounds of bushels of grain of different types of commodities, wheat, corn, soybean, etc. And it has the capacity to create contracts by company, commodity, and class, subclass, and grade. It's able to receive inventory from trucks, rail cars, or vessels, and is designed for an extremely fast entry rate on multiple computers to the same database. Let's start by looking at how the program runs. First, you're going to enter the company data. You enter the company name and so forth, so you can have all the information there. Then you can enter accounts. You put a short name, the name of the company, the address, city and the state and zip, and any other pertinent information like the telephone, fax, and contacts. Then you can enter commodities by type and category, so you can have wheat, different types, and then a short name, and then the order name for the inventory daily report. You can then enter contracts based on accounts and commodities, and these contracts, you select the account with the drop down menu. Then you select the commodity, which is also a drop down menu, and then here you can select the type of grade 1 through 5 and sorghum, and shrinkage, the amount of pounds per bushel, if there's any other relevant information like the identity preserve rate, etc. You can filter records, see if something is there or not, and then you can add it. For example, there is missing the 4. Once you do that, then we can go to the shipment section where you can do entries by truck, rail, or vessel, depending on what it is that you're receiving into your inventory elevator. You can also ship out by vessel as well. So as you can see, here are the tabs. You can also make adjustments for any discrepancies in the inventory as well. You have 9 defaults for entering commodities into the system, and they're based on the items at the bottom, as you can see, and they're denoted by color. And the default is for trucks is the first one, and for rail cars is the 4th one. So you can press a line, for example, and then click on the first one, default. That will be SC sorghum, as you can see on the top, or you can change it to SC sorghum number 2, or CHS sorghum 1, or CHS number 2, number 3, or SC HRW number 2. So as you can see, you can also change these items at the bottom for it to be the default for that particular day. Then you'll enter the gross weight, then you can enter the tare weight, and it automatically calculates what the balance weight is, what the shrinkage is, the shrink weight, and the amount of bushels. And then underneath you can select, as you can see, one line, for example, from any other line, and it will copy automatically that commodity and that company into the system. At the bottom gives the totals by 25 trucks and a bottom total for the day. You can then go to the rail section, and it works the same way as the truck section, where you can just click on the default and you can enter the amount. It gives you the certificate numbers and the sheet numbers automatically sequentially, unless you change it, in which case it will adjust and go into the next number from there. So once you've entered the gross weight, as you can see, it will give you the shrinkage and the total weight, and it will go automatically to the next line with the same commodity, so you don't have to choose it, because that's the default for rail cars, number 4. On vessels, you can enter a vessel name, for example. If you enter the same vessel name, here I'm entering it on purpose with lowercase, so it will create a new one, as you can see. But if I enter the same vessel name as it is on the previous ones, the line number is going to change to be 15 as opposed to 1. I'll think that it's part of the previous shipment. It'll automatically go into the weight section. Here you can enter the weight. It remembers the commodity from the previous line, and it gives you the account shipment total, the shipment total, and the percentage, because on shipping vessel it needs to be grade 2 or better. So if we want to refresh the line at the bottom, it will give you the total loads for that shipment and the percentage that is grade 2 or higher. So I'm going to click on that line, and you can see it gives me 15 loads, 59% higher, and that's the total in pounds at the bottom. If I go to another line, for example the first, the Sir Hope, it shows you like 5 loadouts for the Sir Hope, and it gives you 75% or higher. So that way you can make sure that you are complying with the shipment. You can also go to a new line and pick, for example, the same vessel, new line, or new vessel, and it will copy the same information on that line onto that bottom line. Now you can enter an amount if you want to, and it will give you the percentage grade for that line. As you can see, 0.53 and so forth. You can make adjustments by commodity when there's like discrepancies on the inventory. Sometimes you'll have like small percentages of discrepancies, and so you can also here enter new commodities, accounts, or contracts, and go back and continue entering. Let's exit. If you want to do a report, here's a message, an example of an error message. This is for an account. If I don't have an account selected, you can see I get the error message for the account, and if I do the same thing with that one, as long as I don't select an account up above, it won't work. But if I choose here, for example, CHS, and now I press on that report, there's no error message, and the report comes out as it should. You can also select here other types of reports. For example, you can do commodity list, contract list. This is the master contract list, where you can have different types of storage fees, as this program can also be used for accounting purposes. We can now, for example, do inventory by grade, and for that date on May 30, 14th, this will give you inventory by grade by commodity, and it will list the companies and their position in the warehouse. At the bottom you get totals, and it does it by wheat, sorghum, soybean, etc. All these reports can be emailed as well in PDF format. This one with percentages is the one that is used for discrepancies in the inventory when you have to make adjustments. As you can see, there's 0.27 there, so we can go and adjust it afterwards on the shipment section. You can also have trucks by account. This gives you the trucks by account by certificate number, and you can see what was entered in the day, the loadout, the load-ins, if it was defected, and you can see net shrink and net shrink. You can also do rail cars by account. It's very similar format, except that these ones usually have a sheet number, and And you can see the sheet is there with the certificate number. You can then do trucks by certificate. These are internal reports where you can list all the trucks that came in by certificate number, and they're groups in lots of 25, so it takes a little longer for it to come up. As you can see here, you have the first 25 trucks by certificate number, and you get a gross, tear, net, and shrink. Net, shrink, and bushels. And the next page will have the next 25 and so forth. And at the bottom, you get a total, just like with the other reports, where you get the net, shrink, and what was loaded in and what was loaded out. You can also do vessel loadouts. So if you had a vessel, it gives you the separated by companies, the amount of inventory taken out. You can also have an inventory history, and here what it does is it keeps all the entries together, and it gives you a running sum of what's been loaded in plus the current inventory, and is used for accounting purposes. As you can see, those are adjustments and transfers that we did into the warehouse. And this is how it lays out. The most important report is daily inventory. And this is a very specific report where the commodities are listed by commodity type and company, and they're all lined up together so that the people at the warehouse can see exactly what needs to be moved in or out, or maybe transferred to external silos if we have to separate some commodities from the regular inventory as it comes in or out of the system. So here's the balance forward, here's the companies. As you can see, the commodities are all wheat on the top, and you have a description at the bottom, which is a script from all the entries that have been done into the system, and they're color coded for easy recognition. Anything that goes in is black, anything that goes out is red, and at the bottom you can see here's an adjustment in or out. Whether it's transfer, trucks, rail, or vessel, they all have different colors, and if it's going in or out, it's black and red, as you can see with the company and the net amount of pounds in the system. And you can also have the inventory in the house, total and by commodity: wheat, sorghum, miscellaneous, durum, and total. All these reports, as I said before, can be emailed by PDF, and you can create Outlook alarms so that you can get a reminder every day to send a daily inventory to a specific company. And here I'm just going to save this one so that you can see what it looks like once it's been outputted to a PDF format, which is then easily emailed there you go. And that pretty much concludes this presentation of this program. I hope you enjoyed it.